Ethan's ninth reason for postponing our wedding was that Chloe, distracted while feeding her dog, had her finger bitten the moment she heard about the wedding date. The wedding date you picked is unlucky, causing her to get bitten by a dog. I have to compensate her. I clutched the freshly written wedding invitations, my voice hoarse. What kind of compensation does she want this time? Ethan glanced at me indifferently, his tone leaving no room for doubt. She wants to have a child with me. I'll stay with her for 10 days. Regardless of whether she gets pregnant, I'll come back and marry you. My heart ached. Under his matter-of-fact gaze, I shredded all the wedding invitations I had just written. Fine. Since he loved compensating so much, why not let him compensate to the very end? Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. Grace, I really like your easygoing nature, how you don't fight or vie for things. Ethan was very pleased with my answer. He reached out and wrapped an arm around my waist, intending to bestow a kiss. From falling in love to our engagement and now to our impending marriage, Ethan had only ever held my hand. Yet this time, for Chloe, he was willing to offer a kiss. I pried his hand off and stepped back, creating distance. Ethan frowned. What's wrong? Are you jealous or did you change your mind? He asked me without looking up, busy texting Chloe on his phone. I threw the shredded wedding invitations into the trash can. I'm not jealous, and I haven't changed my mind. Because I'm not going through with this wedding. At that moment, his lips curved slightly at a message from Chloe. Okay, then tell your parents the wedding is postponed. ? I pursed my lips bitterly. A happy smile on his face spread, his mind not on our conversation, nor did he pay attention to what I had said. Alright, I'll be right there. Ethan sent Chloe another voice message. After putting Awa. Why his phone, he patted my head. Honey, you're so good. He seemed unable to wait. Watching his retreating figure rush into the room to pack his luggage, I looked down at my fingertip again, where a visible cut had opened. I fought back tears, bandaged the wound with a band-aid, and turned to my room to pack my own things. Now, I had no desire to argue with him. A moment later, Ethan came over and asked why I was also packing, adding, I was planning on having you help me pack, actually. After he finished speaking, he finally noticed the band-aid on my fingertip. What happened to your hand? Had overlooked it again? That was when he had received Chloe's call that morning and rushed out, causing me to lose focus and accidentally cut myself with the wedding glassware. You little klutz, Ethan looked at me helplessly. You should learn from Chloe. She disinfected it immediately with disinfectant, then bandaged it to stop the bleeding. She didn't cause me any worry at all. Oh. I pulled my hand back, no longer letting him touch it. Oh right, you're packing too. What are you doing? Just as I was about to answer, a knock sounded at the front door. Ethan eagerly went to open it. Then a familiar, sweet voice drifted in. Chloe had arrived. She said, why so late? Ethan responded with helpless affection, I was just talking to Grace for a few extra minutes. I'll take you out for something good to eat soon, Chloe. Don't pout. The two of them flirted in our home right in front of me. I didn't argue or make a scene, quietly folding my clothes. Stop folding your clothes, Ethan walked into the room and ordered me. Chloe's hand is hurt, come help me pack first. I paused slightly. Ethan, have you forgotten that I'm hurt too? He frowned in displeasure. We're not even married yet, and you find it so difficult to do a simple task? Forget it, I'll do it myself. You're completely unreliable. Bang! He deliberately slammed the door loudly, expressing his displeasure with I looked towards the headboard. On the wall hung our Golden Mountain Peak wedding photo taken in Lake. In the photo, his eyes were full of doting affection for me, but I now saw a hint of mockery. I dialed Dad's phone number. Dad, come pick me up tomorrow. I don't want to get married anymore. Just then, Ethan pushed open the door and asked with a frown, who were you just talking to on the phone? Does it concern you? I retorted. He choked slightly, his hand covering his lips awkwardly. I was too careless just now. I told Chloe she'll leave after she gets her luggage. I'll stay home with you tonight. I'm tired. I pushed him out of the room, closed the door, and fell into a deep sleep. All the wedding preparations had been mentally draining. Between sleep and wakefulness, I faintly heard two people talking. I'll let you off tonight, but tomorrow I'll make sure you're overflowing with pleasure. You're so naughty. Aren't you afraid your wife will hear? Heh, she's always been a sound sleeper, and we're not being loud. Their unrestrained playful banter felt like a blunt knife, making it hard for me to breathe. If I let this continue, I feared they would get out of control in our home. This was my final line. So I dragged my heavy head and pushed open the door. The two in the living room quickly separated at the sound. Chloe looked up and scrutinized me, her eyes full of provocation and triumph. You're awake? Ethan offered me an orange, attempting to cover his embarrassment. You love oranges the most. Here. I want one too. As soon as I took the orange, Chloe put her hands on her hips and demanded one from him, looking angry. Ethan gave a helpless smile, peeled the orange, broke it apart, and personally fed it into her mouth. Why are you more jealous than my own wife? Wife? How ironic. Ethan had no idea that oranges weren't actually my favorite. It was just that I was too busy, and oranges were easy to peel and eat. That was all. Moreover, he hadn't ever peeled an orange for me. I walked to the drawer, pulled it open, and took out a packet of fever medicine. Ethan discovered this, and said, surprised, are you running a fever? I'll call the private doctor over right away. My heart was still as stagnant water. No need. I'm not that delicate. After preparing the medicine and drinking it in one gulp, I turned and went back into the room. As long as he didn't go too far at home, I would soon be free. Ding. Chloe sent me a screenshot of her chat with Ethan. The content was, Ethan, thank you for arranging the private doctor for me. It's a shame our love is ill-timed. I don't want to be a homewrecker, otherwise I'd definitely snatch you back. Heh, didn't I postpone the wedding for you? You're not a homewrecker if we're not married yet. I numbly put down my phone. Chloe, you're really something, provoking me with messages in my own home. Ethan, I'm leaving now. You stay home and keep Grace company. A door closed outside, and the living room fell silent. A moment later, Ethan came into my room, his face suddenly turning grim. Grace, is it fun to always have such a sour look on your face? I've always been like this. Ethan frowned. I was worried you were angry, so I specifically stayed tonight to be with you, but you're just giving Chloe dirty looks. Tonight, your punishment is to sleep alone. Bang! With that, he slammed the door shut. I sighed and closed my eyes, beginning to rub my temples. Soon after, Ethan came in again. He held a freshly folded, still warm towel and said, honey, you're running a fever. I shouldn't have gotten angry with you. Come lie down, I'll put this on your forehead. He was always like this, trying to smooth things over after upsetting me, making me experience disappointment after hope, again and again. No need, please leave. This time, I refused him directly, giving him no opportunity to mollify me. After locking the door, I took a deep breath and lay on the bed. Just then, Chloe sent another photo. In the photo, Chloe and Ethan were lying in our home, disheveled. Judging by the angle, it must have been a candid shot. Almost 2 full minutes later, she retracted the photo. Sorry, Grace, my hand slipped and I sent it to the wrong person. You didn't see it, did you? Moron, do you really think Ethan is some kind of catch? Uttering a choice expletive, I felt a bitter helplessness, unsure whether I was cursing her or myself. Who cares? I decided I would leave at dawn. I fell into a deep sleep, but it felt like only a moment before the front door was being pounded thunderously. Grace, get out here. It was Ethan's furious voice. Why did you send that message cursing at her? Do you know Chloe cried all night? Due to a high fever, lack of sleep, and extreme distress, my head felt like it was about to explode. Ethan, however, kicked open the door, grabbed me fiercely, and threw me and my luggage out. Get out. I don't want a narrow-minded woman like you. It was still dark outside, and snow was falling. The biting wind felt like ubiquitous bacteria, and my lips turned purple from the cold. When I next woke up, I was in the hospital. A nurse in white was changing my drip. You're awake? You're lucky an old man passing by rescued you. She handed me my phone. Call your family. Your phone's on the cabinet. As soon as I turned it on, calls and messages immediately reached 99 plus, all from Ethan. Because you ran away, Chloe was worried about you and, while looking for you, miscarried. Not answering my calls? Are you trying to act superior now? I advise you to come to the hospital immediately and apologize to her, or else my anger will have severe consequences. I scoffed, choosing to ignore him completely. Feeling I could walk, I hailed a cab directly to Ethan's company to see his mom. Aunt, let's call off the wedding between Ethan and me. Here's the 10 million prenuptial settlement you gave, untouched. I pushed the bank card towards her. Aunt looked up in surprise, forgetting to process her documents. What did you just call me? She put down her files and came over to comfort me. Did that brat bully you again? Tell, and Mom will sort him out. Don't call me Aunt again, Mom will be sad. I hesitated for a long time, but still decided not to say anything, because speaking wouldn't change my resolve to leave. Just then, the office door was violently flung open with a bang. Grace! Ethan stormed in, his face full of aggression. He grabbed my arm, forcibly pulling me out, demanding, "You came here to complain to my mom, didn't you?" "Ethan, what are you doing? Let go of her." Aunt immediately stepped forward. Ethan explained, "Mom, you don't believe her. It's just a small misunderstanding, she's too petty." Aunt's face darkened. "I told you to let go. You're a man, how can you bully a woman?" Slap. The next second, Ethan slapped me across the face. "All right. You really did tell my mom, didn't you?" It turned out he had thought I came to complain about him. Aunt wasn't about to indulge her son, and she slapped him across the face as well. "That's your wife, who told you to hit her?" "Mom." Ethan touched his face in disbelief. "I'm your own son, how can you side with an outsider?" "An outsider?" So, in his eyes, I was just an outsider? I was smiling, but tears still fell uncontrollably. "Grace, that's enough," Ethan said impatiently, his face full of annoyance. "If you're unhappy, you can tell me. Trying to undermine me by going to my mom is truly despicable, isn't it? Is it all because of that compensation incident?" I didn't. Unlike his agitated anger, I was perfectly calm. Ethan then calmed down, realizing his behavior had been inappropriate. Seeing his mom watching, he could only offer a feigned apology. "I'm sorry, I was too hasty just now. Don't be angry." Aunt, however, assumed we were just a newlywed couple arguing, and laughed as she explained, "That's right, lovers' quarrels. Grace didn't say anything just now anyway." Ethan dragged me out of the office and led me all the way to the underground parking garage. He said to me, "Apologize to Chloe." Just then, the back door of a luxury car opened, and a pale-faced Chloe said hypocritically, "Ethan, don't be like this. This has nothing to do with her." I didn't know she'd get so angry and push me. I frowned. "What are you talking about?" "Grace, I had a miscarriage." "Kneel." Ethan kicked me down. "You killed a life, you killed my child. Making you kneel and apologize is getting off easy." He used a lot of force. My knee was slammed hard against the ground, and for a moment, I thought I heard a faint crack of bone. "You want me to kneel to a homewrecker?" "Ethan, just because I'm good-tempered doesn't mean I'm easy to bully. From now on, I'm telling you to kneel, god damn it." Ethan was enraged. He grabbed my hair and slammed my forehead against the ground. "Didn't you hear me?" My head rang, and yesterday's migraine returned. "Ethan, you're looking for death." Just then, a furious voice came from behind me. My had arrived. "Ethan, you have some nerve." Mai's tiger-like eyes seemed to spit fire. "Uncle?" Ethan was so startled his voice clearly trembled. You're here?" "Uncle, you're mistaken. Grace is always jealous and bullies Chloe behind my back. I couldn't stand her throwing her weight around, so I told her to apologize to Chloe." As soon as Ethan finished speaking, my dad kicked him against the wall. "You can't stand my daughter throwing her weight around? Then let me show you what throwing your weight around really looks like." With that, my dad waved his hand, and a dozen suit-clad bodyguards rushed forward from behind, pinning Ethan and Chloe firmly to the ground and giving them a merciless beating. Did that brat just make my daughter kneel? Make him kneel too, and kowtow to my daughter. Remember, 100-fold payback. Ethan was utterly humiliated. He was held down tightly, his EAD repeatedly slammed against the ground. Soon, noticeable wounds began to appear on his forehead. "Grace, tell your dad to stop." Ethan initially tried to hold out, but these bodyguards were clearly aiming to hurt him, and in just a couple of blows, he was disoriented. In desperation, he could only order me to stop my dad from going crazy. Mai is right. Today's humiliation will be repaid today, and 100-fold at that. After receiving my instruction, the bodyguards hit even harder. "Grace, this will only make Ethan hate you even more." Chloe glanced at me with disdain. "If it were me, I'd let Ethan leave right now. He'll come back when he's had enough fun. And you, Grace, you'll never understand that men need their own space. You're suffocating my Ethan. Where did this crazy woman come from? Go, tie her up." Mai directly ordered the bodyguards. Chloe was clearly scared and quickly hid behind Ethan. Ethan sneered. "Do you really think this is your house? That you can do whatever you want?" As soon as he spoke, another group of black-clad bodyguards emerged from an adjacent passageway. The two groups met in the underground parking garage. Clearly, this new group of black-clad men were Ethan's subordinates. "Grace, you've really pissed me off, and you old man." He pointed a stick at my dad, looking ready for a major confrontation. "What's going on? What are you doing? Everyone, stop immediately." Just then, Aunt also rushed out of the elevator. She immediately sent Ethan's bodyguards away and questioned him, "Are you crazy? That's your future father-in-law." Seeing Patricia appear, Chloe noticeably quieted down, even tiptoeing, ready to escape. I watched this, and immediately understood that she was very afraid of Ethan's mom. Sure enough, the next second, Aunt scoffed at her. I don't care what methods you used to string my son along, but I can tell you this, as long as I'm alive, Ethan will never be with you. Get out now. If I see you again, I'll take your life. Aunt's icy voice echoed through the underground parking garage. Chloe was smart, she knew Aunt meant what she said. She lowered her head and scurried away. Ethan watched her leave and couldn't help but ask, Mom, Chloe is my friend, why did you talk to her like that? Grace has been very difficult today. I'm going to say this right now, this wedding is postponed indefinitely. I will only consider going through with it when Grace realizes her mistake. At these words, everyone was stunned. Mai had been mentally prepared, so his reaction was relatively calm, but Aunt was the most surprised. She looked at her son in disbelief. Ethan, do you know what you're saying? Mai burst out laughing. Ethan, you think too highly of yourself, don't you? In that case, it's perfect, we're calling off the engagement. A flicker of confusion crossed Ethan's eyes, because he was confident my dad wouldn't proactively call off the engagement unless I agreed. But clearly, he'd sooner believe the sun would rise in the west than that I, Grace, would agree to end the engagement. So after a brief moment of tension, he regained his confidence. Uncle, you should really ask Grace about this first. Don't let your daughter cry about wanting to marry me later, and then you two have conflicting opinions. No need to ask, the breakup was my idea. I cut Ethan off before he could even finish speaking. When he heard that ending the engagement was my own choice, he stared at me in disbelief. How is that possible? Aunt sighed. Nothing is impossible. She even cancelled the hotel. Ethan took out his phone and only then, among his text notifications, saw the inconspicuous hotel cancellation confirmation. Humph. She just wants to scare me by canceling the hotel. Actually, Grace probably booked another hotel for the same day, right? Grace? Faced with Ethan's nonsensical babbling, I couldn't help but shake my head. Perhaps my countless concessions before are what gave you this baffling confy. Denke you have now, Ethan. We are over. I'll let go, allowing you to pursue Chloe. From now on, that's it. If Patricia hadn't been there, I wouldn't have said another word. After leaving with my dad, I finally found some peace. In the corporate office. Grace, since you've severed ties with the Yu family, there's no need for your father to allocate resources to their family anymore. Mai said, handing me a new set of partner materials. This is information on a tech company. You'll follow up on it. In short, if our company wants to transform, we must acquire this tech company. I knew my dad wanted to keep my mind off things with work, to prevent me from dwelling on painful memories. But fate had other plans. At the tech company, I encountered Ethan and Chloe again. This time, they were my competitors in the bidding process, and the client was the young owner of the tech company. It hasn't been long since we last met. Did you miss me so much you followed me here? Just as I intended to walk past with my head down, Ethan pulled me aside. What's wrong? Are you so shy you want to crawl into a hole? I took a deep breath. I had truly never met such a narcissistic man. Don't misunderstand. I'm just here to bid. And please, let go of my hand, or I'll call the police. Facing my warning, Ethan was sensible enough to let go, though a "I've got you all figured out" smile lingered on his lips, which was quite annoying. Even more annoying was Chloe. With lipstick on, she sneered sarcastically, "Oh, who do we have here? It's the one who got dumped by Ethan." Her single sentence instantly drew everyone's attention. Those who didn't know might have thought this wasn't a bidding meeting, but her personal stage show. Grace, you really are quite boring. If you want to pursue Ethan, just say so directly. Why resort to such clumsy attempts to get his attention? It's a bit too childish. In the past, perhaps I would have argued back. But now, I no longer cared about Ethan, so why bother debating? Facing their taunts, I quietly walked up to the young owner. Hello, I've reviewed the documents on my end. Would you be available for a meal sometime? I'd like to discuss this with you in detail. The young owner had, of course, noticed the situation just now, but he readily agreed. Okay. Hotel rooftop. This was the tech company's executive-level open-air restaurant. The food was rich and delicious, renowned in the industry, and even many outsiders paid for a table to eat there. The young owner placed my proposal and Ethan's proposal on the table. In terms of sincerity, Ethan's effort was very good. However, I'm a person who always prioritizes money. Your company's overall capabilities aren't enough with just sincerity. I smiled. As I was signing the contract, Ethan burst in. You can't sign it. Grace, if you sign that, you can forget about me ever forgiving you. This contract was expendable for my family, but for Ethan, it was a matter of life or death. After all, my dad had withdrawn his investment, and the finances of Ethan's family company were in complete disarray. That's why he was threatening me like that. I don't need your forgiveness. If you have nothing else to do, go find your Chloe. Isn't she supposed to be so smart? I took the signed contract and turned to leave confidently. Ethan was dumbfounded. He looked at Chloe, puzzled. What kind of trick is this now? Chloe soothed him. Ethan, she really is angry this time. But, if you take the initiative, she'll forgive you. Chloe said this while glaring in the direction I had left, grinding her teeth in frustration. She not only said this, but truly believed it. After all, I had never refused Ethan before. If I don't get this contract, Mom will give all the resources to my younger brother. Chloe, don't worry, for your sake, I will secure this contract. With that, Ethan chased after me in the direction I had left. In the office, I watched a segment of the secret surveillance footage, a meaningful smile playing on my lips. The next second, Ethan burst in. Ethan, our Grace said you can't come in. I waved my hand. It's all right, you can go. The secretary lowered her head and closed the door. Ethan, who had been furious moments ago, saw that I had intentionally left a chair for him, and a smile returned to his face. I knew it. You were just trying to reel me in, Grace. I admit, you succeeded in getting my emotions stirred up. Just give me this tech company project, and I'll reluctantly agree to reconcile with you. I shook my head. Ethan, you're still the same as before, always with this inexplicable confidence. How about you watch this surveillance footage first? He had a younger brother named Leo. And at that very moment, in the surveillance footage, besides Leo, there was another figure that left Ethan dumbfounded, Chloe. Watching the two of them, disheveled in bed, whispering intimately, his eyes were filled with nothing but disbelief. How is this possible? He angrily slammed the table. Grace, did you hire someone to edit an AI video? How could Chloe be with my brother? One sentence from me made him believe it. If it's real or not, wouldn't you know if you called her? Ethan skeptically picked up his phone and called Chloe. The next second, the woman in the video picked up her phone. Hello, Ethan, is there something you need? Me? I'm doing yoga, a bit tired, let's talk later. Beep, beep, beep. Before could say 2 words, Chloe hung up. He didn't give up, and called his younger brother, Leo. Similarly, Leo's response was even more infuriating. Brother, can you get the project back? If not, Mom might just give me all the company management from now on. Leo quickly put down his phone and passionately resumed with Chloe. The two of them fought and discussed company matters at the same time. If you ask me, Ethan is doomed this time. He treated Grace so badly. Grace has long been completely disappointed in him. Chloe, you did a fantastic job this time. As long as my brother's wedding with Grace is called off, he won't get Mom's support. This way, the company will only be mine in the future. Ha ha ha. That fool, he even postponed the wedding with Grace 9 times for you. What a talent. Oh, stop it. I've given you everything, why talk about that idiot? Ethan collapsed onto the ground, never again finding the courage to stand up. Chloe, you wretched woman. He looked at me, his former confidence completely gone, his eyes full of shame. I'm so sorry, Grace. I said calmly, there's nothing to be sorry about. I'm actually quite grateful you postponed the wedding 9 times, otherwise, I would have fallen into a miserable situation. Ethan's face was pale, but he couldn't refute it. You forgave me 9 times. Can't you give me one last chance? They say the 10th time is perfect. I slowly stood up. Chloe said one thing correctly, your confidence is like a mystery. The moment I walked out of Aunt's office, our relationship was already over. You treated me that way in Aunt's office because you were afraid I'd tell the truth, worried Aunt would be disappointed in you, and that's why you drove me to the underground parking garage, right? Ethan was speechless at my questions. Sometimes, being speechless is the answer. I picked up his contract and shredded it. Ethan, everything you have today, I gave to you. Now that I'm leaving you, do you think Aunt will, as your brother said, remove you from the group's power? Someone, show him out. I didn't give him any opportunity. 6 months later, Ethan was indeed excluded from the core of the group. He became a deputy manager of a branch company in a smaller town. His monthly salary was only 300 yuan, not even enough to pay rent. I was quite astonished when I heard this news. After some investigation, I learned that Leo, worried Ethan might make a comeback, deliberately gave him a nominal position with a salary of only 300 yuan a month. Although called a deputy manager, he wasn't even allowed through the company doors. I found it very strange that Leo was his younger brother. How could the two brothers be like this? My told me, you don't understand, they'd been at odds for a long time. My then told me about Ethan's early actions. It turned out that when I was with Ethan, Leo's situation was similar to that of a deputy manager. Ethan used various means to suppress his younger brother, because the two brothers had been bitter rivals since childhood, and only one of them could inherit the company. To deal with his older brother, Leo sought out his older brother's childhood friend, Chloe, and had Chloe use every possible means to undermine his older brother, including but not limited to seduction. That's how all those previous events came to be. Dad, where is Chloe now? My shook his head. You can find out for yourself, but Dad has only one request. Dad knows you've suffered a lot of grievances recently, but you must be careful when dealing with Chloe. I knew my dad was worried I might have blood on my hands. Dad, you underestimate me too much. I did only one thing. I found Chloe, delivered her perfectly to Ethan, and then Ethan and Chloe together accidentally fell into a trap in another country, where they were given no food or drink unless they worked. A year later, when they were found and brought back, one had become insane, and the other a mere skeleton. Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your views, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.